Yosu, what's happening, Captain? So glad to have you back for yet another video. Today we're going to be covering the manga called To You the Immortal, otherwise known as To Your Eternity, which, y'all, when I say this manga took my breath away, which I mean, it literally was out here taking people's breath away. I mean, you had someone dying in like every other nanosecond, so... But anyways, we'll get to all of that in a bit. For now, I'll just start by covering my thoughts on the manga overall, meaning the animation. Of course, after the last video, y'all gotta know by now, this wouldn't be a Fidelia Hitsugaya, shameless plug, video if I didn't draw on and on and on about animation. But I'll keep this one brief, I promise. So for this video, I'll talk about how I felt about the animation quality, the pace of the story, the ease of reading and understanding, and the impact the plot had on me overall. Afterwards, I'll go into a full breakdown of some of the characters. Definitely not all, cause y'all, this manga had a list. And you know, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. But I'll definitely be going over the most interesting characters and the ones that you should be looking out for if you plan on reading the manga or watching the anime, which I hear will be coming out in the fall 2020 lineup. Now, disclaimer before I begin. In the last video where I did my review on God of High School, because I tried to avoid spoilers, I personally feel like I missed out on the opportunity to hit on some really great points about the manga and the anime. So for the sake of really diving in here, I'll be going off.
Do you understand?
And we'll most likely hit a lot of spoilers, so apologies for those who haven't read or watched it yet. Or, you know, for those of you who actually like spoilers, like the masochistic weirdos that you are, you're welcome. Now, let me begin by giving a brief synopsis of the plot. So we have the main protagonist. We'll call him Fushi because he's got like a couple different names. Fushi starts off appearing on Earth as an orb. No memory, no knowledge or sense of existence. Just some mysterious entity that some other mysterious entity sent down to Earth. Now, this orb entity, I hate saying that word, entity, through a series of events became human because he's, you know, a shapeshifter who can take on people's forms once they die. Yeah, that's where we're going with this story. And once this orb entity becomes human, we see that he is in fact the male, sometimes female, protagonist we will come to know as Fushi. And through Fushi's time on Earth, he meets a crap ton of people who he becomes friends with. He learns to smile, love, and trust in the mortals around him. Then, you know, bad stuff happens. And in the classic shonen / seinen style, there's some antagonistic force or forces, this case, that are trying to harm our protagonist and make our beloved Fushi dangerous to be around. So he tries to become a lone wolf and fights off his antagonists alone. But because everyone who meets him loves him, he keeps unintentionally making friends who become loyal to him and gets hurt trying to stay by his side. Y'all know how this goes. So he decides to stop running and fight for himself and the people he cares about, and ends up learning a bunch of new stuff about himself and how his power and abilities work, and ultimately has to take on the mantle of this god tier immortal that this mysterious entity that sent him to Earth wants him to be, all in the attempt to protect those he loves. So let's talk about the animation. You see, animation overall is such a subjective topic. What works for one person doesn't work for everyone else. So if you read the manga and you like it, I'm happy for you, but that could never be me, and let me tell you why. Now, I'm a girl of extravagant taste, okay? To give you some reference for the kind of animation I like, the Tower of God, the anime, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Dr. Stone, Love is an illusion. If you don't know what that last one is, look it up and don't judge me. Anyways, that's usually the type of animation I tend to go for. Very bright, clean lines, modern. And since animation is a fairly big deal for me, when I saw the heavy, dark animation that looked like it came out of the early 2000s, I was put off, yeah, you know, but we can agree to disagree on this point. Like I said, animation is very subjective. Now, in the past, animation that didn't fit my aesthetic has always been more than enough reason for me to call it quits on an anime or a manga. But for a manga like this, I chose to stick around. Why? Because of the plot, of course. The way this manga started implied that classic fantasy shonen type of plot that I love so dearly. So I was able to look past the animation, but we'll get back to the plot in a bit. Now again, the animation was not my style, but what I can easily say I still appreciated about it was the attention to detail. From the movement of their hair as it flows in the wind, the material of their clothes, to the markings on their faces when they were flushed, even something as simple as details in the ropes that were being cut. Okay, is this the most detailed manga that ever existed? Probably not. But you know what? We're here for a little hard work from our animators. I know the amount of work that goes into each and every drawing, so I can definitely appreciate these little things. Now, from what I've seen from the animation style and the anime adaptation trailers, yo! The animation style is gonna be even better than I could have ever imagined. I wasn't expecting too much, especially since the people in charge of the animation production behind it, Brainspace, the same creators behind Kyoko Suri, Amnesia, My Little Monster, Durarara, are fairly small. Not unknown, but they're no UFO table, you feel me? Anyways, I love what I've seen so far from the animation, and it makes me so glad I stuck with the manga. Now, as for the pace of the story, it's definitely a slower pace for a shonen/seinen, if you can even classify it that way. It may just be classified as a fantasy, and that's that. Whatever it is, don't expect Berserk or Attack on Titan level energy out of this manga. But I genuinely believe that the slower pace helps lock you in emotionally. The story takes its time to introduce you to all the characters, see their past, and understand why they're motivated to act or react the way that they do, so that in those faster paced moments of action, when something does happen, you feel that shit. This female friend to the protagonist dies. Yeah, the level of pain you feel for her loss, bruh, you think you just lost your mother. Like, they are not playing with us out here. When I say the level of emotional manipulation.
Why are you saying this? I don't need you to tell me lies.
But that's even more reason why this manga is so well done. Each character is so well fleshed out that each one feels like such an integral part to the story, to where you start imagining how the story overall will develop with them in it, and how fun it's gonna be to see these characters grow. Not only that, but because of the slower pace, we really get to see the personalities of these characters and how they interact with the world around them. So now they have a whole identity which carries weight in the story, you know, before bad things happen and we die slowly on the inside. And I'll go ahead and tie this into the ease of reading and understanding, which I will put into a separate video, because if I don't, this video will be at least half an hour long, and I don't think any of us are ready for that. So thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next part.